Do you want to know how you can get approved for a visa to the US even if you don't have sufficient ties? Stay tuned. Hey guys, this is Cam from BusybodyVisa.com. I'm a former US fraud prevention specialist. And so today we're going to talk about ties to the US. Now, every video you see on YouTube, they're going to tell you in order to be approved for a visa to the US, you have to have sufficient ties to your country. Unfortunately, the law is literally written as you're guilty until proven innocent. Federal law states that the applicant is an intended immigrant unless he can prove that he is not. So the odds are against you, but that doesn't mean that they are impossible. And today I'm going to tell you about a client that I work with who really wanted to go to the US for a pet convention, but did not have sufficient ties, but we were still able to get approved. Of course, results are not guaranteed, but these tips are what I have used in the past, and they could possibly help you too. So first of all, I want to say that having ties is important. Ties consist of things that are basically like financial ties, having assets, a house, a car, a good job, a family, a wife, a husband, just something to show that you have something to go back to. A young man or especially a young woman that is not married, doesn't have a job, doesn't have any money, chances are basically zero that you would be approved. But there are some people that don't have sufficient ties, yet can still be approved. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. So my client was a guy named Mustafa. He was from Turkey, and he wanted to go to the US to go to a pet products convention in Florida. However, he didn't have those traditional ties. He didn't have a house, he didn't have a car, he didn't have a wife, and he was self-employed in a remote job. His job was to sell pet products in Turkey. So he wanted to go to a pet product convention in Tampa, I think it was. Anyway, so he was really worried because the economy in Turkey is not doing so well. And as you know, that is also a red flag. When the local economy is not doing well, they know that more people want to go to the US so they can get a better life. Perfectly understandable. So I was working with them, and honestly, he sounded good, but I just wasn't feeling confident about it, and I had to tell him. But we were talking more and more, and then I asked him about his life. Like, tell me, what does he do for his business? I know you're working remotely, but how do you make sure that the products are meeting your standards from the factories in Turkey? And then he said, oh, well, I go there once or twice a month to do quality assurance. I was like,
Correct answer!
yes, you have your tie, because you have to go to the factory to ensure quality standards. That is a tie to your country. So another thing is, he had been approved for a Schengen visa, although those are much easier to get than a visa to the United States. So we were able to use that. But then most importantly was helping him with the interview. Because guys, I've said this before in other videos, officers kind of already have an idea, 90% of what they're gonna do before you actually even open your mouth at the interview. Because you need to understand that visa officers have between 100 to 150, sometimes 200 people a day to interview. So they don't have time to sit there and play therapist and try to drag the information they need out of you. They're looking at your DS-160 and they're already have an idea of what they're gonna do, but the interview just needs to be confirmation. So that's a big mistake that I see a lot of people make. They just give short answers. Well, so I explained to him, when you do your interview, you need to look in the eyes. So when they ask you, why do you want to go to the US? You don't just say, oh, well, I want to go to the pet convention. No.
No, 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 no.
You need to say something like, well, there's a pet convention that will really help me with my business. It's a great networking opportunity to meet people who are in the same business as I am, so I can get new ideas on marketing and product distribution. And then after that, I want to maybe go to Disneyland. I'm going to rent a car. We're going to go to Florida Keys, something like that. Yes, that is a complete story. That is believable. So make sure you're telling a complete, believable story about why you want to go to the US. Guys, you need to understand something. The visa officer has a lot of discretion. So It's up to you to convince them. It's not like in other situations where it's best just to give short, simple answers. No. You've got to make that officer feel like you are genuinely a tourist. You are genuinely a student. You are genuinely intending to marry this person. And that's what you need to convey. And that's part of my services. I do coaching with that. But this video should help as well. So the good news is after we went over all that, I explained everything he needed to say. He passed. He got his visa. He was extremely happy. And that makes me happy every time I have a satisfied client. So yes, it is possible to get a visa even if you don't have the traditional ties to your home country.